Hey, and good Sunday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Craig Majeski here, back with you on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel with your Hurricane Central update here on Hurricane Melissa. And unfortunately, as expected, what we talked about yesterday during our evening brief has come to pass as we had explosive growth of this hurricane as far as its strength's concerned. Yesterday evening, it was sitting at about 90 miles per hour. Now the winds are up to 140. And if all things go as expected from the Hurricane Center today, we will be dealing with a Category 5 hurricane. That is the third of the season so far for this year. Now, before we break into all the details on this update for you, if you come across this broadcast and you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Again, I'm kind of your no-nonsense weather guy. There's enough social media hype out there for everybody. So if you like a no-nonsense approach to weather and you'd like to get it straight without every storm being treated as a storm of the century, please tune in here. However, that being said, this one will be a significant storm, an historic one, and this one, Melissa, there will never be another Melissa. This one will be retired because this thing is going to do some devastation to the island of Jamaica, parts of Haiti, and Cuba. Love the likes we haven't seen in some time. The biggest issue is going to be the fact that it's moving so slowly. The flooding and the rainfall amounts are going to just be astronomical, just very, very high indeed. So we're going to go ahead and break it down here and give you all the updates here on the latest on the system. So here it is in relation to the continental United States. You kind of see where it is just spinning there off the coast of Jamaica as it is right now. And here's the close-in imagery of it. Look at the eye on this thing, just absolutely just breathtaking. This is a 17-mile diameter eye on this thing right now. Let me get this thing back in motion for you here so you can kind of see it doing its thing. So let me get this thing spinning up there for you. There we go. So you can kind of see it spinning around right there. And again, this thing's drifting to the west very slowly at about 5 miles per hour. So things are not looking too bad right now in Jamaica. We can take a live look there at some of the cameras in that area. And we'll keep using these cameras as long as they've got power. And as you can kind of see, folks are getting ready right now, getting set. Yesterday, it was kind of interesting. It looked like people were just kind of doing their own thing and kind of had umbrellas around, people doing everything. And now I'm not seeing as much activity. Of course, it's Sunday morning early, but I do suspect that today will be a day of, okay, we're getting this thing ready because this thing looks like it's going to come in going to Monday night and Tuesday. Probably as a Category 4. I don't think it'll be a Cat 5. The only good news in this scenario is that I do expect the storm to go through some sort of eye wall replacement cycle. Usually when it gets this intense, you get about 24 to 36 hours, and then it kind of goes through a recycle. But also the wind field, the storm will probably begin to expand in its wind field size. Now, right now, those hurricane force winds are pretty tight. I mean, they're very, very tight indeed. They only go about 25 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds go out about 175 miles from the center. So right now, the entire island of Jamaica is under that hurricane warning right now. You got hurricane watches up across Cuba. See that right there. Yeah, Cuba's got the hurricane watches up there, as well as the island of Haiti. You got tropical storm warnings up along the coast there as well. We're just waiting for this big trough, which is coming across the eastern third of the United States, going to pick this thing up and jet it on out. But unfortunately, the damage is going to be done. This is going to be quite significant. So I'm sure that we got a lot of rescue crews, probably the United States getting ready to send in some heavy manpower. They're going to need it. And that power grid is going to be decimated. So we're talking mudslides. We're talking, widespread power outages. That's probably going to take weeks, if not months, to get restored. Again, on a poor island like this, it's going to be quite impactful, to say the least. All right, so let's go on over here. Let's talk about what's driving our storm. We're going to go through the model data here. Again, nothing here is so much changed here as we're looking at the East Andes Ensemble model. Again, we're going to see this thing get picked up and head right on out. We got high pressure sitting over here. So it's kind of going where that weakness is. And we got this big old trough coming in off the eastern seaboard that's going to pick this thing up and drive it on out. And so we've got some pretty good uniform there. Now, once it gets picked up, the wind shear is going to pick up. So it's going to weaken. But like I said, for the islands down there, it's really not going to matter. The southern Bahamas may get a glancing blow on this a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. It should begin to weaken as it moves up toward the north and toward the east. All right, so let's talk about the steering currents here. Here is the big picture here as we're looking at the latest European model. Here's our hurricane down here. Here is our piece of energy, our low pressure system that's going this way, and we got another piece of energy that's diving down this way. It's going to pick this hurricane up and drive it on out. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly map here that you're seeing here. So again, you can see it's coming on down as it gets this almost looks like one big elongated trough kind of setting up in here. Let me look at it. So it's kind of all getting connected as it's going to get picked up and driven on out. So watch this as I go forward here. This swings on out. That big old trough picks it up. And by the time it gets up near Bermuda, it ain't going to be much of a, so it'll be just a big swirl of heavy rain and wind coming up that way by that time it gets up toward Bermuda. But in the meantime, Jamaica going to take it right in the shorts. And then looks like a big trough there on the backside of this across the eastern third of the United States. All right, so here it is on the precipitation model. Again, it's going out for this morning. Let's kind of see this going on. European does not have a good lock on its strength. I'll tell you that. It's like showing 976. It's down to 951 millibars, so it's lower than that. And but as far as the path, that is correct. This looks good. This looks pretty much lined up with what the National Hurricane Center has for a path. So that looks like that holds so straight, goes on out, kicks it right on out, and then just swirls up big low pressures there going by the island of Bermuda at that time. All right, so no change there. This is going to be significant, although this has come down a little bit. I still think it's going to be higher than this. This is showing 16, 18 inches of rain. Typically, when it comes to these models, when it comes to tropical rains, they tend to underestimate them a bit. So I'm still thinking 25 inches plus, just for the simple fact that it's how long it's going to take for this thing to go on by. We're talking a couple days before it goes on by. All right, so quite significant. The flooding on the island is going to be big. Landslides. There's going to be some. There are going to be some deaths, unfortunately. Also got to watch out over here toward, obviously over here toward Haiti as well. They got some heavy rains over here as well. Haiti is where that little peninsula comes out, is on the right side of the hurricane. Hurricanes are always strongest on the right side. So down there, Haiti, they're going to be getting a lot of heavy rains there as well. Now let's look at one of the hurricane models here. This one seems to have a really good fix on this position. Look at that. Look at that big donut hole. I mean, just amazing. This is the wind profile. This is the wind gusts here on the hurricane here for this morning. As we're going toward tomorrow morning. I'm sorry, tomorrow morning. So as here it is right now. This thing just gets tighter and tighter. So the eye is going to enclose. Right now, 17 miles. It may shrink a little bit as it gets close to Category 5 strength. Right now, it's forecast to peak out at about 160 miles per hour. And this thing's going to move up here toward the north, and then it's going to get picked up by that trough. I'm just looking at the winds there in Kingston. That's the only area that's kind of showing up there on the model. So it takes a right turn, and here on your Monday evening, it shows Kingston winds at 43 miles per hour. There's 48 miles per hour. There's 69, and then 110. They're showing 110 mile per hour winds there. And it's probably going to be higher than that, okay? So as this thing comes on in there, I mean, Kingston is practically taking almost a direct hit. And the storm surge coming into that harbor is going to be just amazing. And I'm going to show you the harbor here in just a second as this thing goes on by. So it goes slams right into that. If I'm on the island of Jamaica, the best place to go, if I was going to evacuate, it's going to go to this side. This side is the best side. But if I'm on this side, I am not staying there. I am going all the way to the western part of the island, and I'm staying there till this thing goes on by. So hopefully a lot of the evacuees are going to go that way. It's a fairly compact storm. Now, as it comes in landfall, and if it goes through an eye wall replacement cycle, the wind field, which is very tight, as mentioned, 25 miles across for the hurricane force winds, 175 miles across for the tropical storm. They're going to start to expand out. All right. So that wind field will begin to expand out as this thing slams up into Cuba, and you're still seeing the winds down there. And it's going to get pretty close to Guantanamo Bay, too, as this thing goes on by, and then kicks in through the southern Bahamas. At that point, notice the wind field really spreading out as it gets up into the Bahamas. So that's going to really kind of kick on out, and then it's going to kind of lose its tropical look as it races up toward the north there. But this thing really that wind profile really expands out as it moves up to the north and east. All right. So again, this is going to be the main, probably worst area that you're going to see there. Not that one. Going down is this one right here. Here it is. This is the Kingston Harbor right there. As you can kind of see that not looking bad there. Got a lot of touristy places in there. That's going to be the place that's going to be the problem. But obviously we're going to be watching these other cameras in the area to see. Now Turks and Caicos will get kind of a glancing blow on this up in the Bahamas. But we'll continue to monitor these cameras here throughout the day to see how they're probably going to have some squally weather today. Today is still not looking bad. It's really going in toward Monday where things are really going to get very, very bad for the island of Jamaica. As we go on through again, we're kind of looking at that track once again. Notice that by 2 o'clock tomorrow, it's still sitting offshore right here. It's not going to move that much, folks. And then looking at the landfall going into Monday night and into Tuesday morning. So going right across the island there, going in toward Monday night and into Tuesday morning. So that is your update here for this morning. There is our storm once again. Very textbook. It's got pretty good outflow in all four quadrants. Seeing a good outflow here aloft. Again, you got to think of this as one big giant heat engine. So all the heat energy is coming in at the surface, going out the top like a chimney and evacuating out the top. So it's one big circulation center, one big heat engine. And this thing's going to continue to strengthen. And I do suspect we're going to be flirting with Category 5. And if it does, as I mentioned, third one this season, that is unprecedented. To have three Cat 5 hurricanes in a season just goes back and shows the warming of the Atlantic is becoming problematic, that we keep getting these major hurricanes. And we're very fortunate in the United States. We did not get a landfalling storm this season. This one will not. And the odds are, now that we're getting ready to flip the calendar to November, we're not going to have any major storms to be a problem here across the U.S. this year. But one of these days, we're going to get another one of these that's going to get close to us. And I think the last Cat 5, I think it was Michael. 2018 was the last Cat 5 that hit the United States. That was the last one in 2018. So again, that's y'all's morning update out there. Hey, Ryan, good to see you out there this morning. I appreciate you guys checking us out. And again, we'll give you an update here later this afternoon after 5 o'clock. Maybe go towards 6, depends on if I go to late church today or not. But it'll be done this evening. I'll do one before the night's done, and then we'll do another one tomorrow morning. All right, that's y'all's update. You guys take it easy. Be good, stay safe, and we'll see you later.